Hey guys, welcome back to our third podcast from Antel Economics, hosted by myself and Ravi. Today's topic that we're going to be talking about is profits in the pandemic. But before we get into it, we're going to have to do tweet of the week. So today's tweet of the week is one about schools, and it is: schools are an easy place for the virus to spread. The long-term effects of kids missing a month of education is far smaller than the effects of the virus spreading even more due to the schools reopening. Comment down below what you think and any arguments you have for and against this tweet. And yeah, let's get into it. So, profits in pandemic, Ravi.
Yeah, profits in pandemic. So it's a topic that I think not many people talked about, and I think there is a lot of firms that should be recognised because they have made significant progress during this time, which has seemed quite a dismal time in economic affairs, but they've
Yeah,
used it as a way to sort of push themselves out and further their business adventures.
yeah, definitely. Like loads of investors and like financial, I think you can call them gurus, like Warren Buffett. They say that recessions are a perfect time to invest or expand your business.
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing loads of firms doing this. Amazon, for example, they're expanding their business into the food industry, trying to compete with Ziggy and Zomato. And like it just goes to show how like businesses can use this as a means of expanding their business.
Yeah, I think the problem is though with people like Jeff Bezos, he has so much money, he has the cash balances, whereas other small firms which don't have this sort of money, they're obviously struggling through this time and they
Yeah, no,
really
that is.
stay afloat.
Yeah, no,
But
I agree. I agree.
it's time for Jeff Bezos, I guess, to excel and expand his Amazon outfit, and
Yeah,
obviously he's now on track to become a trillionaire, which is incredible.
yeah. No, his net worth grew by, according to some reports, it grew by $24 billion, which is just crazy. So that's an immense amount.
Yeah, I think. Well, then, should Jeff Bezos be maybe looking at other smaller businesses that he could use to add to his Amazon empire?
Yeah, no, that is a valid shout. It would also benefit the small businesses, but I guess you could say that it is a free market mostly.
Yeah,
So the fact that he's rich and he can get richer during this pandemic acts as an incentive for these big businesses to grow further, and it could create new employment. People need food, people don't want to
yeah,
go out. It's a market that Amazon could tap into, and if they do it perfectly, they can potentially create new jobs, create a new wealth, and provide stimulus in an economic downturn.
yeah. I think online supermarket shopping has really taken a sharp rise. The
Yeah,
rise of the
100%.
customer, especially over since March 23rd when lockdown was introduced, has been significant in the UK, and I'm sure it
Yeah,
has been elsewhere. It's just the pure ease. You don't have to do anything. You just have to order a few things off a computer, and it
yeah,
arrives to you for a cost of what, a £5 delivery charge.
yeah, no, definitely. The pandemic's definitely opened the eyes of new customers onto online grocery shopping. Like my mum never used to do it, but now because of the pandemic, we're too like they're too scared to go out, so they're resorting to like ordering off Waitrose and Tesco's online. And it's just like perhaps maybe once the pandemic goes, they might even stay in the online
Yeah,
grocery
it's
shopping.
all about these days. It's all about economics. It's all about ease and convenience. People pay for the bit of ease, the save of time.
Yeah,
So instead
yeah,
of going around every single aisle looking for what you want, you can sit on a computer. Whether it takes you half an hour, it still be less than going
yeah,
to the supermarket yourself.
yeah. But going back to Jeff Bezos, obviously the amount of money he's made during this pandemic, is that a reflection of the wealth gap potentially worsening throughout the pandemic? Like last podcast, we talked about regional inequalities and how the pandemic helps to worsen it. But there's also an aspect of the richer people can use their money to get even richer.
Yeah, I think Jeff Bezos though he's on a bit of a different level, so I don't think he can worsen the wealth gap essentially. And also, the people on Amazon that sell on the marketplace are just regular people. It's people
Yeah,
who are startup entrepreneurs. So I
yeah,
think himself he's in a different league, so I don't think we can use him to compare
mm,
and
yeah,
the reason why the wealth gap is being formed.
mm,
But but yeah.
yeah. But on to other companies that have made profit. Obviously, the online entertainment industry has seen huge growth because of the pandemic. Like people have nothing else to do inside, isn't it? So they're
Yeah,
just subscribing to these channels like Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, they've all seen immense growth in the
Yeah,
pandemic.
that's something that a lot of people have tapped into. I think the most mainstream one is Netflix. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
they've got 167 million users. It's
yeah,
ridiculous. You
yeah,
know, even Amazon Prime is not far behind that with 112 million. So that again is
yeah,
Jeff Bezos increasing his cash flow. He's a brilliant entrepreneur. And then
yeah.
obviously
No, I agree.
we've got the rise of Disney Plus.
Yeah, no, Disney Plus, it's seen around 55 million new subscribers since its launch date, which may not seem like a lot compared to Netflix and Amazon Prime, but its launch date was late last year, and they've exceeded their targets, which was set for 2022 in
Oh,
this
wow.
pandemic period. So obviously we're seeing loads of people, they're stuck at home, they have nothing to do, and they're just subscribing. They're
Yeah, I think Disney Plus is great, especially for the kids. They get bored and they can watch something, and they have all the films. Like it's not
Yeah,
like
no,
Amazon
100%.
or
Yeah.
Netflix where they only have a select few because they are the film producers. They
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
which is a really nice niche to have.
Yeah, and like Disney, they've made it clear that Disney Plus isn't going to be one of their main source of revenue, but it is becoming a main source of revenue in the pandemic. They're getting so much income from this. I think the figure was around like an annual revenue of 3.4 billion or $4 billion per year just from these streaming services, which is crazy.
Yeah, I don't think Disney Plus will be their main stream of revenue though, only
Yeah,
because
no, they won't.
the
They won't.
Disney
Yeah,
Kingdom is what they pride themselves on. That is where they make the most amount of money. Disney
yeah,
World in Florida and Paris, and I think there's one opening in Tokyo, and maybe there's one in London coming soon as well. I've heard.
yeah,
So that's where they earn the most amount of money. And this pandemic has put a dent into that because obviously it's all shut right now.
yeah. No, 100%. But yeah. It's just the impact of the digitalized world is becoming increasingly shown in this pandemic as people can't go outside.
Yeah,
Like,
I think people are relying a lot more on online services, not just
yeah,
for entertainment, but obviously as we just touched on supermarkets as well. They're
yeah,
relying on for a lot more things than I think people ever imagined. I don't think a lot of people underestimated the ability of technology.
yeah, no, and we're seeing that with those online workspaces as well, isn't it? Like companies like Citrix and Zoom, they've seen immense growth this pandemic.
Yeah, Citrus Zoom has been brilliant, to have the potential to take on firms in the city and bring them all online and be able to still have a fairly good effective use
Yeah,
is something pretty special.
yeah, yeah, no, definitely. Their impact is like so good in this
I,
pandemic.
I don't
It's
think
helped.
the founders of the companies even thought that they would become this wealthy and this well off from it. I
Yeah.
think the founder of Zoom, he's a Chinese man. His net worth has risen by $4 billion.
Yeah, no, I saw that. Like Zoom's revenues have also grown by 85% this pandemic.
Yeah, I think what their market value is something ridiculous, like 42 billion, which it is well deserved, but it's like I don't think he
Yeah,
would have ever dreamed of it becoming
yeah,
this big.
yeah. Actually, I was reading the other day that there's two Zooms essentially on the stock market. There's the Zoom communications company, which we're talking about, and there's another one called Zoom Technologies. And like in the buzz of this, investors actually invested in the wrong Zoom, and that Zoom grew by 1,500% in market value. So it just goes to
Wow.
show, like, yes, the pandemic is causing economic crises, but it also has a huge potential for investment to kind of improve the market.
Yeah, I think definitely a massive chance for investment bankers and people with hedge funds and things just to grow their money because obviously the economy is taking a downturn and as always, as everyone knows, it will eventually rise back. So
Yeah.
it's just the right things to invest in so you
Mm.
make the most of your money.
Yeah. 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 And like Citrix as well, in terms of the office space, they've all seen huge growth. It's the tech companies. Like there's a recurring theme for the companies doing well, like companies hitting all-time share prices, companies getting
Yeah,
highest revenue. It's all these tech companies, these
tech
online
company.
service companies, Amazon, Netflix, Citrix, Zoom, Disney Plus. So, like, do you think this is a glimpse into the future on the reliance of technology, the importance of technology?
Yeah, I've always been a bit of an aficionado for technology. I think it's something that is really important in society. I think people definitely undervalue it.
Mm,
I think personally, this could be a change for a lot of firms and businesses. I think they will move away from having to pay for really expensive office space, and will
yeah,
move towards more people working from home. And obviously,
yeah,
by working from home, they save that money, and therefore they can increase their profits and hopefully reduce prices for consumers.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I do see it having a massive potential in the future.
Yeah, and like loads of people, I mean, the biggest argument against technology is that, oh, it's going to take our jobs, it's going to, it's going to take everything that we work for. But there was a book I was reading the other day. I think it was Economics in One Lesson by Henry
Yeah,
Hazlitt, in which there was actually an argument against that. And these advances in technology, first of all, people are going to be needed to employ. You're going to need to employ people to make these machines in the first place.
yeah.
Secondly, the increased revenue that firms get because of these technologies, because it's more efficient, because it's more cheaper, it means they get more profit, and these profits can be redistributed amongst the workers, and therefore they'd consume more in the future, causing more employment as a result of that consumption.
So are you saying that technology would lead to increased amount of employment in the end?
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I agree with that. I think technology can produce opportunities for new employment
Yeah,
or
I think it can produce opportunities for new employment. I think, however, people will see that their jobs are being taken over by robots and things. I don't think they'll be particularly pleased by that.
yeah,
I think there will have to be a balance between because obviously there's not everyone who wants to work in the tech industry to build the machines and build the software for for these companies.
yeah,
So I think there will be a middle ground eventually where people will say enough is enough. Technology has carried us so far, but now the actual people of the world want to work themselves and be employed.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think there is definitely limits to technology. I don't think it will be able to take over the world.
Yeah. Well, regardless of
Yeah.
whether it takes over the world or not, I think that it is a very profitable industry to get your hands into, especially now, where the only place we can
Yeah,
go is up, considering the pandemic. So
yeah, there is no other ways. So I think, yeah.
it's a good place
Have
to
you
end
got
it.
anything? Yeah. Oh, well, brilliant. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you all enjoyed that about profits in pandemics. If you have any other firms that you think have made significant growth or profits during this pandemic, or if you disagree with anything we said, then please drop below a comment, like and subscribe.
Yeah. Thank you for watching, guys.
Thank you.